Hi, I'm Nitinjan, and today I'll be showing you our game, Restless. The game is a 3D adventure game where you play as a detective trying to catch Jack the Ripper in a foggy Victorian London alleyways by talking with NPCs and finding clues. Alright, now let's move on to the systems of the game. The game features a limited inventory system for the players to interact items with, as we wanted to force the players to think carefully about what to carry, creating a feeling of resourcefulness and self-reliance in a world where every item/evidence counts. Since we wanted the players to feel like detectives in a Victorian era setting, we actually created a dialogue system with the NPCs for the players to gather clues by having optional ways of talking with them. This reflected the reliance on community ties and police patrols instead of technology, as it was limited during the Victorian era, which we thought was fitting since police back then also relied on these methods as well. Alright, now let's move on to the NPCs of the game. For the NPCs, we wanted all of them to look suspicious, not just with dialogue, to align with our theme of anyone can be a monster, as every NPC could potentially be Jack the Ripper. To do this, we decided to add a shadow over the top half of each NPC's face, inspired by noir films, as it is human nature to usually not trust someone if you can't fully see who they are. We also made some of the NPCs to be able to roam around with footsteps, making it harder for players to tell if it's actually Jack the Ripper following them or just another NPC walking by, making the player feel uneasy. If a player feels an NPC is suspicious enough, they can actually arrest them. However, if they are wrong, a newspaper will pop up, revealing that an innocent man has been arrested and the murder continues. We wanted the failure to impact the next day, as NPCs begin to lose trust in the player, making it harder to talk with NPCs. We did this to emphasize how each wrongful arrest makes Jack the Ripper lives easier, narratively driving the tension and stakes in the world.
Hello, I'm Johan, and I'll be talking about the environment for our game. So first of all, the game is set in 1888 Victorian London, where it is shrouded in heavy fog that helps create the atmosphere of fear and distrust among the people. The environment of the game centers on narrow alleyways surrounded by towering buildings that makes the players feel trapped and uneasy as every direction is overshadowed by the looming architecture and buildings. The lampposts in the game act as the safe zones where it only lights up only when players come close. But this lighting up also prevents Jack the Ripper from coming after the player, which also signals temporary safety from it, and it also balances the gameplay. So the blood splatters around this place, around the alleyways are scattered to reinforce the threat, reminding players that the killer is real and he has struck and he will be hunting the player next, which can help enhance the game's grim and fearful tone that is set that we wanted to bring out. And that will be all from us.